RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right. Here we go. What's up? How's it going? How's it looking? How's it sounding? Nice to see you guys. Welcome. This is the day after Christmas, otherwise known as Saturnalia in certain parts of the world. I'm just kidding. I wish. Well, to a degree. I'm a little bit sick of the religions of the book, whatever. I'm not going to get into it at this time, at this moment. But I do believe that they're the reason why the whole world is in a shit show. But maybe we'll talk about it. We'll see. We got a lot to talk about. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out. Unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. I see you in the chat room. I see the chat room filling up. Thank you, guys. I hope Jim is okay. I haven't seen Jim in a while. He said he had some technical problems, but I hope he's just taking taking the holidays off. I'm a little bit worried. So, Jim, if you're listening, contact me. Let me know how you're doing. You can, you know how to get in touch with me. So. Right, and thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News, for everything, keeping the show going and growing, for your birthday wishes, for your support of the show and your support of the community cats, especially now in the winter. It's snowing outside here in New York right now, and it's going to be a storm apparently, which sucks because my birthday's tomorrow. So, I'll be celebrating by isolating in my apartment. At least now I'll have an excuse to isolate. So, yes, my birthday is tomorrow, 2 days after Christmas. It's the worst birthday time to have it. Well, it's I guess, whatever. It's the worst. What could be worse? I guess Christmas Day might suck, too. But, yeah, now 2 days after Christmas, people are... It's always been this way. People are just not into your birthday. They're tired. It's smack in the middle of Christmas and New Year, and nobody gives a shit. A lot of people are out of town. Whatever. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to take my holiday blues and pour them into the show. But a lot of the show for. If you guys have been watching for a while, you know that it's very therapeutic for me. So it is kind of my therapy, but I do have actual therapy too. So I'm not doing it all here. I'm not working out my manias on the poor, long-suffering Tarabuster community. But maybe a little bit, I guess. So, all right. Yeah, it's just been a weird year, and if you've been listening to any of the shows, and when I co-hosted the Mike Malloy show with our good friend Roxanne Kincaid, and I mean, it's just something that you say, how you doing, right? How are you? Just something that people say as a greeting. I never know how to respond, especially now. I'm kind of like, how am I? Really? You want to get into it? Because I have a hard time being inauthentic, let's say. I don't know. I just say fair to partly cloudy for most days. Yes. And there's the producer. He's got allergies. He's scratching up a storm. I don't know what the hell. He's on medication, but Francis is still in a cone. Every time I take the freaking cone off him, he starts scratching himself again. He gave himself another giant scab. I really don't know what I'm going to do with that kid. So he's back in a cone. And I don't need another cat in a cone, so we'll see. All right, thank you, Josie Justice, for your super chat. Happy birthday, Tara. We love you. Thank you. And all I want for my birthday is for... Oh, well, I got something for my birthday. I got the knowledge or received. Well, I saw it on online. Why can't I talk? That Traitor Trump's hosting of the Kennedy Center honors was the most poorly attended ever recorded, and he had the worst ratings of the entire history of the Kennedy Center honors. In fact, I think it was last time. I think they said like 34% lower than last year's, but also it was the worst ratings that this show had ever received, and that's a good sign for humanity, because we're all most people are wired to be to repel, to recoil from something that's disgusting, right? When you see something gross and vile, you go ugh, and you don't really want to spend time with it in your living room streaming it. And I don't know. We have a lot of work to do, though. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that millions of dumbasses don't like the monster, the con man, the serial bankrupt, tax cheating, draft dodging wannabe dictator with the fake university who's all over the Epstein files. But that's shame on them. And this is something I've been thinking of, too. I've been thinking of, because I've been talking about this with Hal Sparks, where, he says, because I like to say, I guess it's a habit, or I say shame on them. Shame on, that's how I feel. Shame on you. You voted for Trump? Shame on you. Really, you should be ashamed of yourself at this point. You should have been ashamed voting the first time, even when he came down an escalator calling Mexicans rapists. And then you were like, yeah, sure, I'll vote for that. I'll give that power. Shame on you. That in itself should have been a deal breaker for anyone who's a patriot. And this is how we have failed future generations. We failed education in this country. Because, now we have a Republican Party where they're all talking about there's infighting in the Republican Party, right? There's infighting at the Turning Point USA meeting that in the past that there's factions. Now there's an anti-Semitic faction, and now where in the past that the leaders of the Republican Party, when they were called Republicans, said, no, we don't want you in our party. We don't want racists. We don't want anti-Semites in our party, even though, of course, they were there. At least they weren't openly embraced. Now they're being coddled as if it's just a different point of view. Being a racist, being a piece of dirt that can't function in a multiracial liberal democracy is now considered another point of view. That's what J.D. Vance said. That's their big tent. They have a very big tent in the Republican Party. They got, the N-word haters. They got the gay haters, the gay bashers, the trans bashers. They got all the different kinds of races, the anti-Semites. That's their big tent in the Republican Party, and they should be ashamed of themselves. But what I say is that we should, you can't shame the shameless, as Hal Sparks always says, but you can shame some people, and we can have this debate, but I believe that since Traitor Trump is what he is, he's a disgusting parasite, but and that will never change. And what's worse are the people who voted for him. You see? And they should be ashamed of themselves. And it's up to us now to shame them, because public shaming has a place in society. Really, we have a duty and an obligation to tell people, no, this is not acceptable. It's not acceptable to have a a tax cheating, draft dodging, con man, pathological liar who is confused about what this America thingy is all about by the mere fact that he's a racist dirtbag, tickling all those racist funny bones. And, everything else about him. The history of sexual assault, the conning, the dealing, the self-dealing, the filthy, open for business sign that he put over his personal bank account. They're not in it for altruism. They're in it for destroying this country, for making it easier for morons to steal. Right? Because they're not very smart people. That's the other thing. They have no, they just have no bottom. They have no bottom in there. That they have no ethics. They have no morals. Hold on. Thank you, Redfoot, for taking care of our chat and keeping it safe from all morons who say we are all Jeffrey Epstein. What kind of name is that? With an American flag. Well, speak for yourself, pedo, I guess. See, this is where we're at now, where Republicans are the party of protecting pedos. They love pedos. These are, they only, and like everything else that they talk about and run on, they talk about, the fact that their con man is a pedo, that their dear leader is a pedo, is acceptable to them now. It's just so vile. Because it just goes to show you that everything that they've constantly dragged us through, all of the manias, all of the conspiracies and the faux rages that they have dragged us through are all for show. Because it's only a crime if someone with a D after their name does it, right? We are all Jeffrey Epstein? No, speak for yourself. You are Jeffrey Epstein. You are scum. You're a rapist, con artist, scumbag, and you offer nothing. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, they just come into a chat where people are trying to have a normal, decent, and adult conversation, and they offer nothing. They're just trolls. That's it. We are all Jeffrey Epstein with an American flag. I mean, tell us how the weather is in Moscow. I told you how it is in New York City. But, yeah, you'll have more success over at the conservative Reddit page or one of the Russian-funded influencers, right-wingers, because they'll fall for anything, really. They're that stupid. Oh, God, it's so disgusting. They're so repugnant, and this is what I'm talking about. There's zero redeeming qualities to these people. And I guess, as Hal says, you can't shame the shameless, but you can try, I think. You could reach maybe younger people who are, coming up by not trying to shame them, by not pointing it out. It kind of condones it too. It's kind of, we wash our hands of it. We give up, right? And that's it, right? Exactly, Redfoot. Exactly. He writes, they walk into a room and fart. That's the equivalent of what they do. Does that make the Republicans laugh? Yes, that's what they do. That's all they offer. They're not trying to come up with solutions to make a functioning society. That's for sure. They're not trying to offer. They have nothing to offer. And this is one of the things I've been noticing. I'm on Substack. That's basically where I'm spending most of my time. So if you're not following my Substack, please do Tarabuster at substack.com and subscribe and all that. That would be great. And I noticed that there's more maggots over there, but there are standards to Substack. I sound like my father when I do that. I used to put S's on everything. I'm going to Kmart's. I'm going to see it. Well, Sears had an S on it. Going to Macy's. No, that has an S too. Going to Macy's, but you know what I'm saying. I'm going to, Kmart's. Anyway, but they're over at Substacks, and they not as it's like Twitter used to be in the past, where there are standards. There are no standards at Twitter. There are no standards or safeguards at Twitter or Facebook anymore. They're safe spaces for Nazis now. So I don't really spend a lot of time over there. I keep my account. I go there to look around. I can grab video, but the minute you go there, it's all maggot. It's maggotry left and right, up and down. But it's as we know, when Elon Musk, this disgusting, poster child for why billionaires shouldn't exist, when he, what was it? He put something in where you could tell where people were tweeting from, and they. It ends up all these maggot influencers are from, they're from Russia. They're from Somalia. They're from places where you wouldn't really think anybody would care about the maggot agenda. And they're, of course, their avatars have flags, just like we are all Jeffrey Epstein's avatar. Funny enough, right? I mean, all the markings of a bot account. So, yeah, they're all disgusting. We are all Jeffrey Epstein. And, okay. No, I mean, that's why I say, speak for yourself. You're vile. I want to show you something here. Let's see. Oh, look at this. Oh, no, that's a month old. It says Trump's approval rating drops to 36%. I'm sure 36%. Why so high? Really, shame on the 36%. So where is it? Okay, because I was over at the Leopards Eating Our Face Reddit page. Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, before, because I brought up that this is the way it is on Tarabuster sometimes. It is my birthday tomorrow, okay? I'm not that young, as you can tell. I'm getting older every minute. But the good news is, so is Traitor Trump, and he's well ahead of me, okay? 80 years old? Oh, God. And not a thing to show for it, except, your money. No one loves you, Trump. Everyone hates you. Everyone's sick of you. What a thirsty bitch. Putting his name on everything he can. Putting his name next to people who don't hate America. God. Yeah, exactly, Susie on the chat. It will always be the Kennedy Center. Yes, it will. And when he's dead, legally and peacefully, we'll have to enact the Damnatio Memoriae. See there, I'm getting better at saying that. Yeah, the damnation of memory. Every statue, every coin, every whatever the hell they want to put his filthy fascist name on that he shouldn't be on, because it's illegal. He shouldn't see, and this is why the corporate media, and I mention it all the time because it's true, and we talk about shame. We got to shame them into complicity, into behaving like the Fourth Estate. But they, just because Traitor Trump calls it the Trump Kennedy Honor or Center or whatever the hell he calls it, doesn't mean that's its name. It's illegal to name, you have to go through a process. You can't just go booga booga executive order. Now it's renamed with my name on it. But it's like the Department of War. There goes the corporate media going along with it. Well, it's the Department of War. That's why, like, even in the beginning, when he started with his executive orders, I never understood. They're firing people. He's saying, I'm not giving money that's already been allocated by Congress. Who the hell is he? Don't pay attention to it. He's not the king. We have a check and balance, right? But then the corporate media would go, oh, breaking news, Trump blocks this, that, and the other thing. You know, Trump blocks Ukraine funding. Trump blocks this. He doesn't have the power to. So why are we pretending that he does? You know, and that's the corporate media's problem. Instead of reporting that this baboon has the balls, no offense to balls, frankly, the baboon has the delusion that he has control over the purse strings. That's how you report it, corporate media, and you immediately nullify all of his illegal acts when you respond to them with laughter. Okay, old man, sit down. Clearly, you're a little bit confused. Clearly, your chief of staff needs to give you a lesson in civics because you forgot that you're not a king. You're not Kim Jong-un. You're not, your love letter partner. You're not Putin. You want to be Putin? F off to Russia. Go. Get the fuck out. But that's not this thing. This is what I'm talking about. Why would the corporate media just go along with it? And the American people who are so damn dumb because of Republican policies. They've been made dumb by design. They've been told, there's no civics education anymore. And of course, half the country's watching this propaganda outlet that makes its viewers less informed than those who watch no news at all. And so you have an obligation, if you're part of the normal media that has some standards, you have an obligation not to go along with the con and the grift. Don't just report, Trump University. Why don't you just report, like, Traitor Trump, let's say back in the day, is selling seats in his, or whatever. He's selling his Trump University degrees. You just step right up and buy one here. Don't you have an obligation to explain that it's not an actual degree, that it's a con, that it's a this, it's not exactly an Ivy League education. Instead, they just report it. And they go, he released this executive order. He might as well have passed gas. He released an executive order. He signed an executive order nullifying birthright citizenship. That's the other one. And every single one of these things that he did, that he has no legal authority to do. Instead of running around like, our hair's on fire, why not respond simply by ignoring the old codger, ignoring the old man? Who the fuck does he think he is? Obviously, he's clueless. He doesn't know what a president is. He needs an education. And, ignore him. When he like an illegal order, like any other illegal order, you have a duty to not respond to it, not follow it. Okay. Oh, sure. You want us to shoot them in the legs. Okay, Grandpa. Or whatever it might be. You're going to, arrest everyone who openly, speaks against you. Okay, Grandpa. Take a nap now. Your shows are on. Your stories are on, Grandpa. That's how they should have responded. Instead, we get breaking news. Trump just fired half of the staff of the Department of Labor. And then we act like, oh, shit. How could he do that? Then he does it, and then they all send out the emails and the tweets, and the people start packing their desks. Fuck this. God. Right? And then, we got to go to the court now. Why? Because he laid a fart? I don't know why. It's a big thanks to that asshole that came in here. Now we got farts on the brain here. There's a theme developing thanks to the filthy maggot that stepped into the room to offer absolutely nothing. See, that's the thing I was going to say with the people who comment on Substack, just like they comment everywhere else. I'm talking about the maggots. So I've noticed lately there's a few more maggots on there. I guess they're signing up. It's probably bots, but there's more standards over there. And it was something I can't exactly remember what this person was commenting. Oh, they just say things like, "Oh, you're a libtard," like they have nothing to say. And I think if they ever did, I would faint. The whole world would collectively faint. We probably could use the nap at this point. But it's like, don't you have anything intelligent to say? And it's just amazing because they don't have anything to counter what I'm saying. I'm just hitting them with facts here, and they're like, "Shut up, libtard." And it's amazing because if they contribute nothing to society. And that's happily where they are, and we know that I'm sorry, I keep hitting this mic here. In any time that we've had a challenge as a country, that maggots and whatever they were called in the past, teabaggers, and that they get very triggered if you expect anything other than absolutely nothing from them. Right? They'll start screaming and farting and whining and bitching and moaning about, their freedom. Because to them, being free is contributing absolutely nothing to society. Don't ever ask them to contribute anything. And then even if that's just contribute not being a dick, contribute shutting your mouth, leaving people alone, minding your own business. They can't do it. So what I like to say to them sometimes is go back to leave me alone and go back to contributing absolutely nothing to humanity. Right? We liberals, normal people, decent people, we got this. Okay, we don't expect you to contribute anything because we know you don't have it. You can't give what you don't have. You can't give it away unless you have it. And what do you have? Because we see whenever you have power, what you do with it, you do nothing but destroy. You drag us backwards. You got nothing. You got nothing. But you want it all. You want all the benefits of civilization. But what it's really about is racism. That's what it's about. That's how they got you. They tickled your racist funny bones. And you fell right into it all the time. You fall for it all the time. The oldest conspiracies are you're the victims of them. Staring you right in the face. And all you had to do, if you are racist, because you're small and scared and stupid, because stupidity and racism go hand in hand. It's not just me saying that. We know that from our own eyes, empirical evidence, and scientific studies on human behavior, that stupidity and racism are related. But, you fell for it every single time. And here's a case in point. Where's my eCam here? Here we go. Here's a tweet that I came across. I voted for Trump, hoping that by getting rid of all the illegals, it would finally make our healthcare system better. Now that they're not leeching off the system. Now that 2.5 million illegal aliens have been deported, why is our insurance higher than ever? The cost of my prescription drugs have skyrocketed, and the quality of care seems worse than ever. When will things start turning around? I might, M-I-T-E, might. That's like a little leech, might. Not be able to afford health insurance this year, and how bad it's gotten. I'm losing faith in Mr. Trump. Losing faith. Well, I guess, the Mexicans are rapists, the rape adjudication, the 34 convicted felonies, the tax cheating, the biggest loser, American taxpayer, the million corpses, the worst jobs record since Herbert Hoover. That wasn't enough. You're losing faith. You haven't lost faith yet, but you're losing faith. See, it's amazing. It's so fascinating, right? That's why I always say I study the Trumpanzees like Jane Goodall studied the apes. And when I see something like this, I'm like, see? I'm right again. I hate to be right, because it sucks to be right, figuratively and literally. And here's another example. It's almost as if illegals weren't leeching off the system in the first place, right? Right, Maggot? Bismarck Community Buzz, whatever your name is. That's the page that this person posted to under anonymous. If you take all the illegals that are leeching off the system out of the system, and your insurance is skyrocketing and now you can't afford it, well, it's almost like the illegals weren't leeching off the system in the first place. That it was really just a bunch of propaganda that you were swallowing. And the propaganda, of course, aimed at tickling your racist funny bones and getting you to vote against the very policies and the people who promote those policies that are trying to make your health care affordable, that are trying to make a country that works for more than just the powerful pedos that Republicans are in power to protect, like Traitor Trump, who is $3 billion richer in 11 months. And I mean richer by money, by wealth. He's not rich in any other sense of the word. He's the saddest hunk of wasted human DNA that's ever walked the planet. He's not a well person. He's a miserable person, because people who aren't miserable don't behave like that. They don't act as ugly and vile as he does. So, it's amazing. But this is what I've been telling you guys all along, right? Because all along I've been saying this, and the Democrats, I've been screaming at the Democrats for not listening, not running with this, not running with the truth, not being unapologetic about the fact that we're on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. We're the ones who are the real patriots, who leave no one behind. Even this dumb bastard who is like an albatross around our national necks, because he will vote for his own demise all the time. And sadly, he's dragging us all down with him, with the stupidity. And I've said it for years that they want the benefits of civilization. They want all the policies that Democrats voted for, and all the democratic policies that the Democrats create and give to the maggots. Like when Joe Biden passed, when they all, the Democrats and Joe Biden signed the infrastructure bill, even though, they're hell-bent on calling it the bipartisan infrastructure bill because Democrats have a bigger vested interest for whatever reason in rehabbing the Republican brand than the Republicans themselves. It's much to my frustration. Oh, it's bipartisan. You got like 4 Republicans voting for it. It's bipartisan. But the bulk of the money from the infrastructure bill went to red states, the poorly run red states, because they're all crumbling to shit because the maggots vote for people who do nothing for them but pass divisive, racist, and bigoted bathroom bills and, just racist policies that this idiot falls for. And, they asked Joe Biden why the bulk of the money in the infrastructure bill went to red states. And he responded, well, that's where it's needed most. Does that sound like something Traitor Trump would do? That's where it's needed most. Yeah, because we're in this together. This is a United States, as Democrats always like saying, oh, there's no red state or blue state or red America and blue America. There's only one America. Well, tell that to the Republicans who've been running on as real America for as long as I can remember. Back then, that was Dick Cheney and George W. Bush. We're real. This is real America. Because the blue states that actually keep things running and functioning are not real America. Well, there you go. That's that famous red state privilege, right? Where they don't have the manners, the maturity, the decency to say thank you. Because they've been told a bunch of lies, a pack of lies. They've been told to rail against the only policies, the states, the people, the policies that won't leave them behind, that won't leave them on the battlefield every single time, as Republicans do. Oh, you're not going to have health care this year, booby? Well, maybe it'll wake you up, booby, that it was never the illegals, because illegals actually pay. They pay into our system, and they get nothing out. They get nothing for it. And if you really wanted to stop illegal immigration into the country, what would you do? You would take the help wanted sign off the, off the border, because you would go after the employers, and they don't. Why? Because people like this idiot, they want to give that idiot something to, distract him with, as they continue to cut his lifelines and push him lower and lower on the ladder. And I'm frankly sick of it. How hard is this to educate these people? It really is. It's propaganda. It's absolute propaganda. And I've said it for years. I'm not wrong. I wish I was. That we're in this boat because of propaganda. And they know it. The maggots know it. Though, the ones in the halls of power. Howard Nutlick was on Fox News. And he was, where the hell is it? Let's see if I have this clip. He was, saying, let me see. I got it here. It's just really unbelievable. They're just so vile. Let's see. Hold on. Nutlick, he's the worst. Oh, geez.
Consumer confidence has taken a pretty significant hit this year. It's down about 16% since President Trump took office. What do you see as that disconnect? Why are things going so well in so many areas, but yet consumer confidence is taking such a hit?
Well, that's why we got to have people watch Fox so they actually get the truth rather than the fake news.
Yeah, don't believe your lying eyes. You watch Fox News. Fox News that makes its viewers less informed than those who watch no news at all. You know that. Fox News. That was hit with the largest fine against the media company in American history for lying to its viewers. That, just watch Fox News. So when you go to the grocery store and you're like, hey, where are my Biden eggs? I miss my Biden eggs. And you see that everything's going up, including the rent, and your lifelines are getting cut, and you don't have insurance anymore, so you better not get any of those non-FDA approved eggs, because they're cutting all the federal services, including the services of inspecting the food in this. I mean, everything in this country is getting worse because of Republican so-called leadership, and I'm sick of it. I don't know about you, but I sent cards to my family in different parts of the country, and for the holidays, and so some of them received these cards, and some have not at this point. In fact, I sent 4 cards to the same house, and only one arrived, and certainly with enough time. And I'm just saying that it's because Republicans have poisoned everything that they have gotten their hands on, including the post office, the postal service. They've been going after the postal service for years, defunding the postal service, going after the postal union, making it a job that people don't want, firing people. Hold on. And they've been firing union workers in the Postal Service and replacing them with temp workers that aren't in a union. So, shit's just getting worse. And, I have to say, don't we deserve better? That's what I'm sick of. This is why we have to have advocates in power, in the halls of power, when it feels to me that the Democrats, the old guard Democrats, of course they have to go, but that they are reluctant to take the side of government and stand up for government and say, I don't know, government, we're talking about the government that the founders fought a revolution to create and entrust to us, but we're also talking about a government that we deserve. You don't like government, move to a desert island. No one's holding you back here. Fuck off to Jeffrey Epstein's island then. But we form a government, and we've found that a democratic government is the best form of government to keep people free and happy and healthy. We don't need no authoritarian shithole here, thank you very much. You don't like it? Fuck off. Fuck off to Russia. Fuck off to Jeffrey Epstein's island. But we deserve to have a bureaucracy that runs and functions, and people should want to work for that bureaucracy. These are jobs that veterans take. They come out of the service, and they take jobs in the Postal Service. They take jobs in the Social Security Administration and whatnot. And they should be good jobs. Good, well-paying, high-benefit union jobs that people want to have because they're steady and secure. And they're treated with decency and respect. And they serve the American people. So they should be a position of honor and trust. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But maggots, of course, hate government. But it's not that they hate government. They love a big, big, fat, authoritarian, I got mine, sucks to be you government. That's why we have to stand up for the government that works for everybody. And I'm really tired of these maggots hating America so much that they want us to stumble, that they put these poison pills in our bureaucracy, that they have destroyed our bureaucracy, like that filthy fascist pig Elon Musk. No offense to pigs, who would never behave like that. That's why we got to tax these mother effers down to size. But we deserve a functioning bureaucracy, like a functioning Veterans Administration, Social Security Administration, Labor, the Department of Labor, the FDA, a CDC, all of these pillars, really, of freedom and democracy in a modern society should run and should be well staffed and be a job that people want to take. But not anymore. Yeah, I don't know about you. I remember, I'm old enough to remember, you put a stamp on a letter and it gets across the country in 3 days. Now, you don't even know if it's going to get to goddamn tri-state area in a week and a half. Right? I'm not the only one having these problems. But that's because this is what maggots do. They throw, and before they were maggots, they were teabaggers, but all along they're conservatives. They're Republicans. And they put these monkey wrenches, these gremlins into the gears, and then they complain, oh, look, it's broken. Let's do away with it and give it to Elon Musk, which we saw how well that ran with Twitter. See, all you got to do is take one filthy right-winger and put them into anything, and they'll destroy it as quick as you can blink. It didn't take him long to turn Twitter into a cesspool, didn't it? But that's what they want to make the entire society. You see, look at the Turning Point USA meeting. What a disgusting disgrace. Where one of this, I'm not a big fan of any of these people, of course, but Ben Shapiro, who says anti-Semitism has no place in the Republican Party, it should be rejected and all that. And then that's a controversy for these people? Jesus Christ. And then you have the so-called vice president of the United States saying that he doesn't want to kick people out of the party because that's just another idea. It's kicking people out. And these are the way the maggots are. A maggot representative, I can't remember his name, he said something about, because the military has standards where you can't be a white supremacist, right? You can't be a member of the KKK. You can't have white nationalist tattoos or Nazi tattoos or be a part of a Nazi organization and be in the military. And as somebody who served, and I'm sure many people on the chat know as well who've served, when you go to sign up, they look at every part of your body. You stand there. It's just like you see in the movies, in your underwear, as you have to explain every tattoo you have. And if they recognize any tattoos as being part of a racist group, you're out. But recently, a maggot representative said something about how we need to change those rules. I'm sure. I'm afraid to look right now if this is passed, to tell you the truth. But because he said something like, if you call them white supremacists, I call them Americans. Really? Are they Americans in a multiracial liberal democracy? So you think that we should train those who want to topple our system of government? We should give them a military training? Well, hey, here we are, January 6th morons and traitors running around free. People who pled guilty to conspiracy against the United States, to sedition. God, when is the day of accountability? Right? Karen on the chat says, I fought with my mom constantly about Fox not being real news. Well, you know, when it has news in the name, and that's what's so clever about these maggots, how they, that was Tuberville, Christy, JD Christie on the chat. That was Tuberville that said, yeah, you call them what? Nationalists. I call them Americans. Well, that sounds like him, that's for sure. They're monsters. They're monsters. They're Nazis. I just watched yesterday. I watched that movie Nuremberg, and you know it was a good movie. It's sad when I watch things like that. When I see when America was the good guys, where we fought fascism rather than coddled it. And you know, if this were the 1940s, if this were any other time, we know what side. If we were Germany in the 30s, we know what side people like Tuberville would be on. We know who they would follow. Oh, God. And every Republican chest beats the heart of fascism. How long have I been saying that? All right, where am I? Where am I here? There's so many things I want to talk about tonight. What time is it? Oh, yeah. Lutnick is the worst. Look at his face. His very legally and peacefully punchable face. Just a scum. God, a lying scum. And this is where the Democrats, again, have fallen down on the job, because when Nutlick says things like, well, that's why we need everybody to watch Fox News, the Democratic Party should have already put it out there in an unapologetic form, in a repetitive manner, that Fox News is not news. We should never have treated it like news. That's how the monster, the pedo who shared wonderful secrets with convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, Traitor Trump, goes on about fake news, talking about the actual news. Then, you know, there's no antidote to that but the truth, and repetition again and again and again, without apology. It's amazing. It's like the Democrats have not learned. It's absolutely amazing. But okay, so let me see. There are a few things I wanted to go through. The Melania. Let's go there. We might go back to. There's so many things going on, but hold on. Here's the music, the commercial. All right, guys, this is Tara Devlin, unapologetic liberal talk. Come back in a minute. Become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin and subscribe to my Substack for my birthday. It's my birthday wish that I get a lot of subscribers. I gotta get those subscribers on Substack, guys. Okay? Just subscribe. I'm trying. I wish somebody, the other thing that no one is doing for me, and that is give the show a good review on iTunes already, and put that mother effing review that's up there down lower. And I want to explain what it is. Maybe that'll pique your curiosity and you'll go and look at it. So go to the iTunes, because that helps. You know, you got to get the good reviews and the likes and the bing and bang and the thumbs up and all that shit. Okay, so okay, how do I start? This monster here, Melania, you guys remember back during the first maladministration when trophy wife number 3 was first on the scene as the potential first lady, and there was a lot of comedians, a lot of late night comedians going on about how she's some kind of hostage, right? That was the joke. How Blink in Morse code, and we'll put up some Underground Railroad for you, Melania, as if she was not in this deliberately, as she had no choice. She's just as bad as he is. All right? I never liked her. I was never one that was like, oh, poor Melania. Because there's also that clip of her during the first maladministration. I think it was on the inauguration where her face is all smiles and immediately goes flat as soon as he turns around. And yeah, she's, according to what we're learning now, she was Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend. So he broke her in. And then he passed her on to Traitor Trump. Whatever. That's fine. I don't give a crap. But the fact is, the only thing I care about is that she clearly knew that he was a pedo. And so is Traitor Trump. She knew what he is and was. And, you know, they're all vile. All these women that surround Traitor Trump and this group, they're all just as disgusting as Ghislaine Maxwell. They're all Ghislaine Maxwell. Because people are trash, right? They are trash. But Traitor Trump and the Trump crime family, hold on. You know, I mean, it's so funny how, this is what I'm talking about, how we have to be dragged through the manias of, you know, all these Republicans for years. You know, they just all from faux rage to faux rage, from fake this to fake outrage to whatever it might be, the outrage du jour. And they don't give a shit about, you know, I mean, who knows what it'll be next, right? It used to be gay people. Now it's trans people, because it didn't, you know, you're not getting the same bang for your buck. Now it's who knows what group is next, but it's anyway. I don't even want to ask. I don't want to question the universe and put that in there, because I don't really want to know the answer, right? But Melania is just as racist as he is, just as bigoted, just as disgusting and transactional as the baboon that she married. She knows what he is. She knows he's a rapist. She knows he's a pedo. This is a complete transactional relationship. If you think that they're laying around in bed, you know, talking about their hopes and dreams and all that other shit, forget about it. You think I would probably bet my house that, okay, I don't even want to, it's kind of disgusting, you know. I'm sure that Traitor Trump has never pleased Melania. Let's put it that way. In, you know, completely and fully. So, yeah, I mean, he doesn't know where to find the, you know what I'm talking about. Let's not go there. That's a little bit too much for the day after Christmas. But the fact is that the past 11 months, Donald Trump, the 80-year-old dementia-addled con man, is $3 billion richer than when he took office. Okay? And that's unconscionable. That is inexcusable. There's no way you don't, there's zero way. No way, unless somebody can tell me, unless you win the lottery 3 times over. The biggest lottery, that there's no way you make $3 billion in 11 months as a public servant and you're not corrupt. Harry Truman said it. You don't get rich in politics unless you're a crook. Well, we got the King Khan in office now, and trophy wife number 3 is emblematic of that. She's disgusting. And this Melania documentary it's gonna be playing in a theater near you. You better get your tickets now, because I'm sure it's gonna be like The Empire Strikes Back, lines around the block. $40 million for a documentary that nobody asked for, by the way. Well, let's play the trailer because it's absolutely disgusting. Legally and peacefully disgusting. Where is it? Hold on. I'm trying to find the... Here we go.
Here we go again.
Shut the fuck up.
You can come in. Come on in. Our proudest legacy will be that of peacemaker.
Peacemaker in the fire.
What? What does she even say? Peacemaker.
Will be that of peacemaker.
Peacemaker in the fire.
Peacemaker. At least you can find a clip where we can understand what you're saying. Okay. Witness. History. Yeah, the history of the most corrupt crime family ever to disgrace this country. And
Beautiful.
beautiful. What's so beautiful about it? It's an envelope. It's a red envelope. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
How much did it cost? How, maybe, what was your cut off the top? Trophy wife number 3. Like, what is this shit? The Palace of Versailles? You Marie Antoinette, bitch? In the making. Witness history in the making.
Together with like-minded leaders, we have a voice.
Like-minded leaders, we have a voice. Hold on a second. Together? Aren't you riveted so far? Together, like-minded leaders, we have a voice. Okay. Well, what's that voice saying? I mean, what are you... What is the point? 20 days.
Is it safe?
Is it safe? Oh, there's some tension and conflict. Is it safe? I don't know. I'm putting my life on the line. My high heels and hat, which looks like Carmen Sandiego. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Should I go? Where in the world should I go? Is it safe? Is it safe? Whee! Whee! That's the FDR drive. Whee! To become First Lady. Trophy wife number 3. This is really a testament to all side pieces and nude models everywhere, right? Where you can be do a softcore porn lesbian photo shoot and also surround yourself with the most tacky gilded shit ever and take as many bribes as the men do. Of the United States of America.
Everyone wants to know.
What?
So here it is.
Everyone wants to know. So here it is. Everyone wants to know what? Can we get that question? This is what, when I saw this trailer, I'm like, everyone wants to know what? At least give us something. I don't understand what the question is. Nobody asked. You're answering a question that nobody asked. Nobody cares.
Everyone wants to know. So here it is.
So here it is. And here I am. Everyone wants to know. So here it is. As she's putting a flower on the grave of a fallen soldier. One of the suckers and losers. Everyone wants to know. So here it is. Here I am putting a flower on a grave.
So here it is.
So here it is. Needless death? Look at that. Isn't that a disgrace? So here it is. Why would they put that shot under so here it is?
Everyone wants to know. So here it is.
So here it is. Here I am putting a flower on a grave of a fallen soldier.
So here it is.
And my high heels again. How many times we gotta see her high heels? A plane. She's looking out the window. There's her corrupt autistic son, who's a piece of shit too. Oh, she's a dancer. She likes dancing. See? This is how she danced into the heart of Jeffrey Epstein. Ugh, gross. Bing, bong, boom.
Hi, Mr. President. Congratulations.
Did you watch it?
I did not. Yeah, I will see it on the news.
Fuck off. Melania. Exclusively in theaters that nobody's gonna watch. Who's gonna buy a ticket to that? Right? You're gonna take your maggot family to see Trophy Wife number 3? Answer the questions that nobody was asking? Well, we do know. What do we care about her? First of all, she is the least popular first lady in American history. In fact, when she left office, it was the first time a first lady had left office with a negative approval rating because she did nothing. What does she do? I mean, this is nothing but a bribe, another bribe out in plain sight. It's almost impressive, really, how efficient the corruption is in this White House. It's a performance, you know. What's the performance is, it's they're performing governance. But they don't spend time on actually governing. All they do is destroy. It's easy to destroy. Destruction is quick and easy, as we know. We saw the Twin Towers fall, right? How many years did it take to construct? And it took minutes to destroy. That's the maggots. All they do is destroy. They're like the termites in the body politic, whittling away at the pillars of democracy. Destroying. They bring no life. They bring no decency. And a $40 million documentary is, let's not pretend it's anything other than what it is. It's a bribe. It's an absolute bribe. It's an abomination on every level. Politically, ethically, artistically, aesthetically, economically. The 40 million price tag isn't just obscene. It's a case study in corporate pandering. Dressed up as what? This is something that we've all been clamoring for? You're just meeting a need in the market? 40 million to license this thing. And where did the 40 million go? Travel expenses? $40 million? I mean, you follow her around with a camera. That's not worth $40 million. So it's a bribe. This is the most, one of them. I don't even think, actually, I should look this up. I don't think there's never been a documentary this expensive. Let's see. Let's see. Has there ever been a documentary more expensive? Let's see what the answer is. I should have looked that up earlier. There is no widely documented feature documentary with a higher single title production budget than this $40 million Melania project, which is why it's being described as an unprecedented and the most expensive documentary ever made. Even the big landmark nonfiction productions that routinely get cited for huge costs come in well below it. High-end nature series like the BBC's original Planet Earth had a total production budget of $25 million, and it spread across 11 episodes and took 5 years to make. That's a global, technically complex series with hundreds of locations that still costs less. That takes skill, you know? It does take the kind of skill that she is showing here to be this shameless, to be this disgusting and transactional. Records for the most expensive documentary series per minute go to projects like Walking with Dinosaurs, which cost roughly $10 million for 6 episodes because of all of the complex 3D, heavy CGI and animatronics that went into it. And it still lands at only a quarter of this Melania budget. They don't even have the ability to be ashamed, to be embarrassed by their complete and utter lack of ethics, standards, morals, decency. They're disgusting. Who are the people that vote for them? You should be ashamed. I don't ever want to hear Biden crime family again. What a joke. And even the Ken Burns series that people think that they assume are insanely expensive, like, let's see, the Civil War, and now he has another one, the American Revolution. They come in, let's see, about $1.5 to $3 million to make. Because, you're paying for the rights for photography and whatnot. What's the budget? Where does this $40 million go? It's a bribe, clearly. And, shame on everybody who doesn't call it out, And really, shame on Jeff Bezos, shame on Amazon, shame on this corporate grift going on in this country. And that's why this country, we got a lot of work to do. They don't even have they're not afraid of the American people. This is what we're witnessing, you see. So they could be so openly corrupt. Hold on a second. This is Tara Devlin. Become a patron. Become a patron, and I'm expecting you right now, to go over to my Substack and subscribe to my Substack. Let me see. Did I lose you guys? Uh-oh. Oh, okay. It's still going. Woo! For a second there, I thought the show just crapped out on me. Let me see. Where's my thing? Hold on a second, guys. I'm putting my my address at Substack over in the chat. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I'm checking the numbers right now. And I'm going, do you want to talk about public shaming? I'm just kidding. Yeah, all right. What a disgrace. You see what I'm saying? And trophy wife number 3 is the least popular. Let's see, where is it? I had a whole bunch of notes about it. Yes. And the other thing about this documentary is that Brett Ratner is the director. He's another one. And he's been accused by multiple women of sexual harassment and misconduct, including detailed accounts by actors like Olivia Munn and Natasha Hensridge. They were serious enough that Warner Brothers publicly cut ties with this person. So, of course, when they shopped this bribe documentary around, most legitimate, well, clearly not most, all other legitimate directors took a pass. But it landed on Brett Ratner's desk, who is a sexual abuser. And, of course, this Trump maladministration and a maggot-like trophy wife number 3, what does she give a shit about who Brett Ratner raped? Right? This whole maladministration has a vested interest in rehabbing as many sexual predators as they can, as fast as they can. Whether they are traitors, they talk about, people like the January 6th traitors, a lot of pedos in there, a lot of rapists who also pled guilty to conspiracy against the United States. So, yeah, makes sense that this documentary, this bribe-umentary, would have a sexual abuser as a director. And I don't know about you, what does that... What did that trailer say? Did it make you want to watch this video? Did it make you want to learn more about trophy wife number 3? Of course, the questions that we actually have about that trophy wife number 3 would never be answered. Like, I would love to hear why she's with this baboon. That would be an actual documentary. Give us some kind of insight. Why is she with this disgusting, overweight waste of human DNA, this sociopath? Is she a sociopath too? I would probably say yes. If you turn your blind eye to sociopathy, she comes here as a side piece illegally. She came here on a Einstein visa, right? Let me see. Let me look. Is that going to be in the documentary? Because she supposedly was some kind of Einstein that had, she was going to contribute so much to the United States with her great, very big brain. Yeah, Melania Trump's immigration story is built on an elite visa that never matches the reality of her resume. A pile of unanswered questions on how she was working here in the 90s. Of course, she was working illegally as a, nude model. The Einstein visa label is not a joke. It is literally the category that she used. Melania received a green card in 2001 through the EB-1 program, a category technically reserved for people with, quote, extraordinary ability and sustained national or international acclaim. That is the same visa track lawyers cite for Nobel Peace Prize winners, for Olympic medalists, for award-winning artists. Not nude catalog models that also do lesbian softcore porn. Immigration lawyers have explained that to qualify without a big prize, that you have to hit at least 3 of 10 strict criteria, like major media coverage, big awards, or leading roles in distinguished organizations. Melania has none of that. She was one of only 5 Slovenians to get the EB-1 that year, which shows how rare the approval is. And people keep asking why she was counted and what the extraordinary ability was in her case. What a disgrace. Public records and reporting show she came to the U.S. in the mid-90s on a B1/B2 visa, which does not allow paid work. She was on a visitor visa. The AP later documented that she did multiple paid modeling jobs under her visa while in the United States as a visitor. And then she violated the terms of her visitor status. Her past statements about going back to Europe every few months to stamp her visa is, of course, her getting around the H-1B work rules. Well, even though she wasn't supposed to be working. Jeez. And then, of course, after she got her EB-1 green card visa and U.S. citizenship in 2006, she sponsored her parents under chain migration, which is the thing that the Trumps and all the maggots use to rail against chain migration. But didn't he write some executive order about chain migration, overdoing it or overturning it? What a piece of dirt these people are. Yeah, and the other thing is, so many things with this bitch trophy wife number 3. She does not speak 7 languages. Okay? That's another canard. Let me see, where is it? Remember that I don't really care jacket? She wears this I don't really care. In June 2018, she wore the I don't really care, do you jacket on her way to visit detained migrant children at the southern border. Isn't she a fucking bitch? Unreal. Which is probably why, let me see, she doesn't speak. I'm just trying to look this up. 7 languages, because that was the other thing. She's a liar, like the rest of them, and a racist. I remember, I should have got this video. Let's see if we can find it. Because there's a video of her being asked, do you speak? How many languages do you speak? And she goes, 7. And it's bullshit, of course. And then there's clips of her with the French president. One of the languages is supposed to be French. And she, the French president, Macron, I guess, heard those rumors. And he started speaking to her in French. And she's like... And then, of course, wherever she's at any place where they're speaking other languages, she barely speaks English, and why does she need a translator? Why does she have to listen in a headset if she speaks 7 languages? Oh yeah, and it was the Pope, right? The Pope started speaking to her in a different language, and he was like, oh, I thought you spoke, other languages, you lying bitch. I can't believe that's the end of the Tarabuster show it's just the end of the Progressive Voices part of the show. Tomorrow's my birthday, and by the time this is on, it'll be a day after my birthday, but that's no excuse. You should become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. Follow my Substack at Tarabuster at .substack.com. That won't take anything. Just do it. What's up with you guys? Come on, man. Thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News. Listen to Charlie's APS Radio for classic rock and oldies all day. And then you have the classical station. And then APS Radio News has people on it like me and people on it like others. All right, guys? And tomorrow's my birthday. Can I say that enough? Can I say it enough? I speak ubby-dubby, and I barely speak English. I speak ubby-dubby, and that's it. I never said I spoke any other things. What a bitch, though. What a lying bitch. Let's see. Oh, shit. Hold on a second. This is gonna be good. I should play this off the screen. Melania speaks French, it says. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Trying to sign. Everything is signed out. All my fucking accounts are signed out. That's why. It's taken me forever to sign in. It's taken me forever to show you this video. But patience is a virtue. Thank you for listening to my song. There we go. She's speaking French. She's a lying bitch. It's a workshop. It's a work in progress, this song. Come on. Sometimes eCam can be very annoying. Okay, this is Melania speaking French. And look at how... Oh, shit. It's all volume is down. Look at the... Melania Trump speaks French. Okay, big exclamation point. Bonjour! Nice to meet you. My name is Melania. Genatena Melania. Bonjour, bonjour. What's your name in English? She doesn't speak French. Are you fucking kidding me? How stupid do they think we are? Right? Bonjour, bonjour. Tara Devlin speaks French. Bonjour. Buongiorno, buongiorno. I speak Italian too. Prego, prego. Buongiorno. Damnatio memoriae. Buongiorno. Bonjour, bonjour. She speaks French. Bonjour, mi chiamo Melania. Mi amo Tara. I speak Spanish. Bonjour, bonjour. I speak Korean. 안녕하세요, 안녕하세요, 안녕하세요. I speak Korean, everybody. Speak amazing. Tara Devlin speaks 10 languages. 안녕하세요, 안녕하세요. Jesus Christ. That's not speaking French. Don't tell me, bitch, you speak French. When you're like, bonjour, buongiorno, spaghetti and meatballs, buongiorno. Fucking unreal. Would somebody please sit down with her in the corporate meeting and say, oh, you speak 10 languages, 7 languages, $2, $37. And there's been a question. Hey, and then somebody what languages are they? Let's see. How many languages? Which languages? I'm looking this up. Of course, Slovenia. She barely speaks English. You think she would speak better English at this point? Right? But she's like, be best. Let's see. French. She speaks English, French, Italian, German, and her native Slovenian. Some coverage has added Serbian to the list. She does not, I'm just challenging it, does not speak all these languages. She is lying. Yes. they have pushed the line. Campaign and right-wing media have pushed the line that Melania, the trophy wife of a tax-cheating, draft-dodging, wannabe dictator, con man, pedophile, convicted felon who's all over the Epstein files, is fluent in how many? 5 or more languages. Well, that's how you know it's a lie, because it goes from 5 to 6 to 7. But, you know, they can never really nail it down. Fact checkers who went looking for actual demonstration or documentation of her speaking French, Italian, German, or Serbian found, at best, a few awkward phrases and nothing that rises to any level of conversational fluency, which makes the "she speaks 5 or 7 languages" claim classic spin, if at best, really, rather than a verified fact. Yeah, no, she's not fluent in anything. I mean, just be yourself. This is the fucking problem with these maggots, and I'm so sick of them. It's all performative. It's all a goddamn... you want to talk about a hoax? This is a hoax. It's all bullshit. Everything is a performance, but this is what you get in a system with people who aren't actually governing. They're stealing. They're grifting. This is what you get in authoritarianism, and that actually brings me to another thing that I wanted to talk about. And I guess we can... What time we got here? We only have like 28 minutes left, so we'll see how far we get. But I'm not sure if you saw. This really irritated me. Let's see. Twas the day before Christmas, I think, or December 22nd. And all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even that fucking louse, Traitor Trump. Oh, if only Traitor Trump wasn't stirring. He was up tweeting hundreds of tweets on Christmas. You know, after he was talking to all the dumb kids who were... Not dumb kids, but all the kids who were unlucky enough to get his gross wife and himself on the phone. They called Santa's hotline. Unfortunately, that piece of shit picked up. I saw this. J.D. Vance joins Navy SEAL training and pushes the limits in a grueling workout. Well, isn't that fucking amazing? Aren't we all the better for it? And this really annoyed me because, okay, wonderful. Isn't it wonderful? Well, the American people are about to lose their health care. We have the worst unemployment rate since the last time the baboon was in office. The metrics in this country all point to shit. The goddamn post office sucks at this point, right? I mean, they have done so much damage in the first year, not even, that it's going to be studied for as long as we're alive and then some. That's for sure. And we have a lot of work to do thanks to these monsters. They have done so much damage. Everything that they talk about is just a lie, you know. They destroy everything they touch. Donnie Two Dolls hates America. Not only hates America, he's confused by America. They have enriched themselves while making everything worse for this country. Okay? But we get, instead of policy, we get push-ups. This is what happens in authoritarian states. This is what happens, you know, instead of, they started rolling back, like in the airport. So now you don't get paid by airlines. You know, those Biden era rules that airlines would have to pay travelers for disrupting travel plans. even though if it were the fault of the airline, they would have to compensate you for your time. Not anymore, thanks to Traitor Trump and the maggots. Now you get pull-up bars in the airport. You don't get policy. You go do some pull-ups. It's all bullshit. Same thing here. J.D. Vance joins a Navy SEAL workout. Oh, wonderful. What a manly man. Although, we know, I mean, go fuck a couch, buddy. But this is what we get. Performative bullshit. Performance art. It's the performance of authoritarianism. And, yeah, we know this. We've been experiencing this with Kristi Noem dressing up as everything from a fucking dental hygienist to an ICE agent. And, of course, this is what Republicans do. Because it's all a performance. It's, you know what they call, what's his name? His name just went out of my head. The Kash Patel. You know what they call Kash Patel? The actual FBI agents call him? They call him the Make-A-Wish FBI director. Make-A-Wish, you know, because it's like he's a Make-A-Wish kid. And they gave him a badge, and they give him a gun, and he flies in a helicopter, and he gets to fly around, and he gets a jacket, and they all have to say yes, sir, no, sir. And it's like a child acting at the role, because the real role is over his head. Just like maggots, the same thing. They wave the flag. They love the eagles. They love the stars. They love all the symbols of patriotism, because the real patriotism, the real action of patriotism is over their heads. And here we go. J.D. Vance, this horrible, most unpopular vice president that we've had in modern polling, as we know, the more you know him, the more you hate him, J.D. Vance. And it's not just because he likes to fuck couches. It's because he's a horrible dirtbag who's a divisive piece of dirt, who's a racist, who's a scold, who brings nothing to the table like the rest of them. So he goes and he performs with the Navy SEALs. Oh, look at him. Look at me. Look at me, Mom. And I was so irritated when I saw this, because it wasn't just him. You know, I was looking at the comments. This is from Fox News. In the Fox News website. Where was this? I can't find the comments now, but one of them was like, I love to see Harris doing that. Oh, imagine, no, he said, imagine, what's his name? Walz doing that. Imagine what that would be like with Tim Walz. As if, you know, that fucking matters. I don't have to imagine, because Tim Walz wouldn't be doing that. He would be working to make this country work for everybody. We don't need the performance. We need policies. He would be trying to pass policies that make the lives of the American people better. So when you don't have anything to offer the American people, you go work out with the Navy SEALs, right? Distract the morons for a minute so they can all go, look how tough, look how strong. Oh, and I can't imagine how the maggots would cream if J.D. Vance took off his shirt and rode a horse. Because they fall for anything, these maggots. And it goes to show you just how much they are confused by what they're supposed to be doing in governance. This is not why we elect people. They should all be embarrassed to behave like this. But they don't. because they're confused by America, and they are fundamentally reshaping America into their image, into their authoritarian image, and they should be ashamed. You know? And we should all point it out. We have to point it out, or it's not going to stop, or this is going to be normalized again. Right? We don't need this shit. Oh, yes, Pete Hex has said he wants troops to be fit, not fat. I want the troops have to be at a certain level of fitness. Yes, I was in the military. You have to pass your PT. You have to be able to do certain physical things. But we aren't living in that kind of world anymore where we're going to have to go on a 5,000-mile road march. And don't you want to have people who have brains and emotional intelligence? Not these assholes. They don't have that. They want you to be a brute. They want you to be, they really just want to bring back hazing in general. And let government that serves the people be damned. Just look at the performance. It's all an act. Everything is an act. Even the act of a Christmas message is an act, right? They're just acting. If they can't pull it off, they have, it's like, because right after Traitor Trump sat around taking calls from the kids on Santa's hotline, he went right back to tweeting about the scum. The liberal Democrat scum. These fucking people. Not only that hate America, they're confused by America. And this is a case in point. So what are you going to do, corporate media? You're going to point it out? You're going to accept this as leadership? I mean, they should be embarrassed to act like this. He should be embarrassed to behave like this. It's not that they're doing this for what? What is the point of it? It's like the Melania documentary. We know what the point of it is. It's a bribementary. But what's the point of this? This is a performance. This is a distraction. This is a it's a redefining what it means to be a public servant. To be a vice president, to be someone in a position of leadership in the governance, I was going to say. But you know what I mean? They're redefining it. Don't expect policy. You get the performance. This is right out of Mussolini. It's right out of the authoritarian way. And that's why they should be embarrassed about it. But they're not. And no one's pointing it out. Yeah, he's a douchebag. He's an idiot. He's nothing. He offers nothing. He's like Peter Thiel. He's horrible. He hates America. Yes. They want to destroy America. That's why they're happy to put on a show for the morons. But I'm really tired of the fact that, we have these pillars of democracy, supposedly. We have a fourth estate that's supposed to call this shit out. I mean, the country is facing real problems thanks to the Republican Party. We're facing real problems. We always face problems. But now we have a maladministration in power that's not trying to fix the problems. They are creating the problems. They're making our problems worse. They're answering any kind of problem that we have with cruelty. Right? They're taking cruelty and they're adding cruelty to the cruelty. I mean, we have problems. crumbling infrastructure, thanks to the fact that the maggots have clawed back a lot of the infrastructure money. And the ones that they couldn't claw back, Traitor Trump slapped his filthy fascist name on it. Another participation trophy. And then he says, look at what I'm doing. Everything's great. The whole world's great thanks to me. No more hurricanes, right? You kept the hurricanes away, as Kristi Noem said. But we have real problems. Infrastructure, crumbling infrastructure. We have obscene wealth inequality. Of course, maggots aren't going to do shit about that. They created the income. They want, the income disparity. They want more income disparity, more upward immobility. Right? We're facing these problems. Decimated public schools. That's the maggot way. You don't want no government schools. Answer me this, guys. Have you ever heard a Democrat defend the schools and say, well, yeah, when they call it government schools, public education is one of the pillars of democracy. That's why Republicans attack it. What's wrong with saying that? It's the truth. Time to defend our institutions because they're necessary for a functioning democracy. Part of, in fact, that's what On Tyranny, was it On Tyranny or the other one we were reading in the Anti-Fascist Book Club? On Tyranny. And what's the one? It just escaped me. The Ruth Ben-Ghiat is On Tyranny, right? Oh, shit. I have it in my Kindle. One of these On Tyranny. And what was the other one? Oh, yes, Strongman. I'm getting them mixed up. Timothy Schneider's On Tyranny and Ruth Ben-Ghiat is Strongman. But this is right out of, the Mussolini playbook. That's why you see, when we saw Putin riding around without his shirt on, we made fun of it because it's telling. It's like a military parade. It's like Kim Jong-un's military parade or the military parade in Red Square. Weak nations do things like that. Strong nations don't have to do that. Emotionally strong, secure, emotionally stable, emotionally mature nations don't have to behave like that. Only weak and small and childish and juvenile people do that. So we should be embarrassed when our vice president puts on a performance. We should be embarrassed. Because we don't need you to go do lift up a log with the Navy SEALs. They got it. They got it, bud. That's not your fucking job, bud. You're the vice president. If you want to be a Navy SEAL, go be a Navy SEAL. But we don't need you to put on a performance. Just like we didn't need Traitor Trump to host the Kennedy Center honors. That's why these people are the worst. And they will go down in history as such. And then they are, as much as they want to be popular and embraced by normal society, they will never. Because normal society wants a free democratic republic. We don't want your bullshit. We don't need it. We're not falling for it. We don't, when you dress up for the camera, we're not children. We see through you. It looks as transparent as it is. You look like a fool. And you think we're fools. That's what makes it worse. You think by dressing up, you are fooling us somehow. They think politics is a reality show. And that's what Traitor Trump has done to us. But I hope that the American people, the shameful ones that voted for that monster, and the ones who stayed home, have had enough, you know? Unfortunately, I guess it's still, you got the 35% approval? J.D. Vance doesn't care that families can't afford rent or groceries, right? Him and his family, he's been on vacation. I wrote an article about this. How many times? Let's see. How many? Every month for the first 6 months. J.D. Vance went on vacation. Right? Oh, now we have him doing Navy SEAL training. And then he's like, wow, I feel like a truck hit me. Because you're not supposed to be a fucking Navy SEAL, asshole. You're the vice president, and we want you. I mean, I guess it would be better if you just resigned with the rest of the maladministration. Hopefully you'll be in prison soon. Oh, God, a girl can dream. But you're not a Navy SEAL. We don't need you to be. And it's all this fake masculine bullshit, too. Why don't you go and do something that appeals to decency and that everyone can partake? Go and, I don't know, clean up your neighborhood. I don't know, do something. Go and beautify your local public school, or go volunteer at a soup kitchen, I guess. They would never do anything like that, though. The fact that we need soup kitchens, that's what you should be saying. It's like it's a disgrace that we need soup kitchens in this country. We should all take care of each other, and this is outrageous, tax the rich and all that shit. But instead, we get this. It's so embarrassing. This is what authoritarian movements always do. They replace policy with pageantry, with performance. And because real leadership requires intellect, restraint, compassion, maturity, right? All of which maggots treat as weakness. They're not mature people. They're juveniles. I just go on my Substack, you'll see. Libtard. That's as high of a comment as you get, as an intellectual commentary. A very scintillating commentary. Then I suppose they all have to go take a nap after libtard or MAGA. That's all they say. It really does take a real dumbass to be a maggot. But yeah, they pose, right? I mean, that's what's they're so embarrassing. They preen. They put on their performance while America falls apart. And public servants with actual experience and governance are vilified. That's your deep state, right? Those are the elites, the people who know what they're doing, the public servants that show up every day and do their jobs. Why don't everybody else go fucking go do a workout? And that's there's another one I saw recently. Pete Hegseth and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. doing the same thing, doing a workout with the Marines. It's like, go away, you little boys. But like I said, this is what authoritarians do. Their goal isn't to govern, it's to dominate. It's to perform rage at the cameras. While everyone's, while stealing everything that's not nailed down, as we could see, with the fact that Traitor Trump is $4 billion richer in 11 months. And that should be on every ticker tape. How do you get $4 billion richer in 11 months? And you're the fucking president. Anybody? Hey, any maggots can tell us? How does a pedo who shared wonderful secrets with Jeffrey Epstein, so-called wonderful secrets, I mean, what a dirtbag. These people are disgusting. That's right. And, but yeah. Trump, of course, he's the poster child of dysfunction. And he's taken most luxury vacations. Well, let's see. I was looking up J.D. Vance. I wrote an article on the Substack a while ago. He went to France. He went to England and Scotland. J.D. Vance. He went to Disneyland. But he's not going, coach either. When he goes to these places, he disrupts everyone's day, as he disrupts everyone's, even when he goes to England and Scotland. Everyone was pissed because, get the fuck out. We don't need you to disrupt our lives. But, it's his world. We all live in it. And then when he was at Disneyland and they had to shut down Disneyland for his unworthy, unfit ass, and the Americans who were inconvenienced, of course. Now, these are people that probably had to save for their vacation. They may not get a vacation. We're the only country that doesn't have guaranteed vacation time, like every other fucking country. And I'm sick of it, too. I'm sick of it. Why don't you do that, JD? Why don't you went on vacation. You went on a fucking vacation a month for the first 11 months. So why don't you tell everyone, gee, I love my vacation. I went on a vacation a month. Everyone should at least have a vacation a year. So I'm mandating, like the rest of the world, at least 30 days vacation. Like the rest of the world. Everybody in other countries, in England, if you're guaranteed 30 days vacation. Federally guaranteed. So we don't even get a goddamn sick leave. Unless you have a state law. I'm sure all over these poorly run red states they have none of that. In New York, for example, we have 5 whole days. 5 whole sick days. Can you believe it? And that's a relatively new law, too. But you think corporations do that out of the goodness of their hearts? As somebody who's been a freelancer the majority of my adult life, I'm telling you right now, no. They don't do it out of the goodness of their hearts. But, yeah, because I remember working for a corporation as a freelancer, and I got sick. And they're like, oh, I could just give you a couple of sick days. I'm like, wow, really? Okay, great. Because it was a law. Now, they had to. I had the freedom to be a human being who got sick. Can you imagine? Yeah, so let's see. J.D. Vance. How many vacations? Anyone else sick of those people? Let's see. I'm sick of it all. That's what I should have called the show. He had 8 vacations in 7 months. Disneyland, Nantucket, Italy, India, Cotswolds, Vermont. And when they said to J.D. Vance that you inconvenienced people, and his response was, hey, I'm sorry. I had a good time. Can you believe that? Now, tell me what the maggots would do if that were Kamala Harris. Hey, Imagine Harris shut down Disney World and inconvenienced the American people. And when she was asked about it, it was like, hey, I had a good time. These are the privileged princes of our new Gilded Age. And they must be legally and peacefully sent to history's trash bin. What do you think? All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out. My name is Tara Devlin. Tomorrow's my birthday. So, do me a favor. Hold on. We only got a couple of seconds. Love the music left. Do me a favor. And if you can, become a patron. Patreon.com/Tara Devlin. But also, do me a favor and subscribe to my Substack. I'm going to check right now. See if anybody subscribed while we were. Nope, not a one. You see what I'm talking about? Not a one went up during the show. It gets frustrating. That's why I'm saying. I guess everybody's already subscribed, so yeah, I'm not saying you gotta subscribe for money. You can do it for free. It is a possibility to do it for free. And, okay, you know what? Hold on a second. This is very annoying. I know the show's over, but look at this shit. This is what we have to deal with. That's why I'm talking about the Damnatio Memoriae. Come on. Fucking Ecam, help me out here. Who is this motherfucker? Tom Homan writes, would you support placing a statue of Charlie Kirk in the U.S. Capitol and on college campuses across the country? Eat shit. Tom Homan, you bribe-taking son of a bitch. Get these people out of our lives, okay? Legally and peacefully. See, this is all AI generated, of course, but Charlie Kirk's supposed to be, he's some kind of debater. Not really. He's just another troll who employed not debate tactics. The same tactics as that asshole who came into our chat earlier. You know, calling somebody names, yelling and screaming and bringing nothing to the table but hate. Look, hey man, I'm just talking, right? It's a debate. I think that some Jews are trying to control the world, and they should be, I don't know, stopped. This is just a debate, man. We got a big tent. And then you have the invasions and the rapists, the Mexican rapists, and, you know, we're just having a debate. Oh, God. Oh, these horrible people. And Tom Homan, you know, they're all on the take. They're all on the take. When will it stop? Well, it stops when we stop it, legally and peacefully. All right, my friends. Thank you for hanging out. Don't forget, tomorrow is my birthday. Not that you care. I'm only kidding. Because nobody subscribed to my Substack during the whole show. It's okay. I guess I should. It's fine. It's only an hour and a half to my birthday. Right? It's all right. Yes, I'm going to be on Tuesday. Is Tuesday? Is that a special day? What's Tuesday? What's today? The 26th? Yeah, Tuesday. The 30th. It's the 30th. I'll be on. Oh, thank you, Redfoot, for subscribing to my Substack. See, this is what I'm talking about. I just talk. I talk and say things, and nobody listens. It's very hard to get people to do what you ask them to do. I get it, because everybody's inundated. I'm the same. Everywhere I go, they're like, do this, do that. Give me money, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. But I figure if you're here and you can, I gotta get those goddamn numbers up. You know what I'm saying? I need to be a respectable Substacker. I need like 10,000 at least subs. And I only have less than 2,000 at this point. So, whatever. It's fucking exhausting. Being in the liberal media. It really is. Look at me. Look at me. I'm exhausted. Alright. I'm tired. I still got shit to do after this show. To get things going and video. I gotta make the show for Progressive Voices. For Political Voices. Alright, my loves. Thank you for hanging out. I love you. And we will win. I had other shit to talk about. It'll get better. I'll get better. I'll tighten it up. I'm trying to tighten it up. You know, get some. I thought it was not too bad tonight. Get some stories and stick to those stories. I should do like 4 stories. Boom, 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 boom. But you also got to be yourself too. So, all right, my honeys. What should I watch? Anything good on TV? Oh, thank you, Michael. You're very nice to say those kind words on the chat. I appreciate that. Makes me feel good. You know? So, thank you. Yes. Thinking of me tomorrow. All right. And it's snowing out. It's going to be like 8 inches of snow or something. So I'll probably be going nowhere. It's okay. I need to relax. Just rest. Watch a movie or something. Anything good? Oh, and thank you. What? Oh, shit. That's right. T. Rose. I'm a paid subscriber on Substack, but I can't read most of your articles because they're on the Political Voices. You're fucking right. I gotta do something about that. I didn't realize that. You're right. I wonder. I gotta look. I gotta research that. Maybe I should. Shit. I wonder if there's a way to connect it. Or maybe I can repost it over at my Substack after, like, a couple of days or something. Yeah. Holy shit. Why didn't I think of that? Man, oh man. Thank you. All right. I'll figure that out. That's not fair. You're right. It's complicated. It's like on Tuesday the show runs on Political Voices, and then the next day I generally upload it to the iTunes, so you can get it as a podcast. So I wonder. Yeah. Wow. Fuckity fuck. All right. Thank you guys. You're right. You would probably have a bunch more subs. You're right. Damn it. I gotta research this. If I could connect. Or even if they can connect. The one Substack account to another. Huh. Like becoming a... Fuck. I gotta figure this out. Alright, thank you for letting me know. Yes, I am in the metropolitan tri-state area. Arrow. Oh, Stacy. You asked Stacy that. Yes. We got snow. Okay. Alright, guys. I gotta go. Because I got more shit to do. And then I want to lay down and... I don't know what. Watch something on TV. To distract myself from everything that we talked about tonight. There goes Tara Jr. scratching again. Oh, brother. Alright, my loves. Thank you for hanging out. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. How you doing? You coming up? You coming up, buddy? Come on. Alright. I got you. I got you. I know. Alright, cranky. I know, buddy. Say hello. Uh-oh. I got you. I got you. I know, buddy. He's my baby. Poor little one. You're boo. You're a boo-boo. All right, my loves. Thank you so much. Really. I appreciate everything. And, yeah. Guys, I will see you on Tuesday. My name is Tara Devlin. I'll see you very soon. Stay safe. Merry Christmas. Happy Saturnalia. Thank you, Charlie. APS Radio News. See you soon. Thank you, Redfoot, for being a moderator. See you soon.